long. So we're just continuing the story here, but how sales has changed over time is really what I want to get into. You know, the time of where the pushy sales guy, that days are over. The days of the really nice guy, those days are over. You know, really what it comes down to now is hard closer to the trusted advisor. That's what we've been talking about all year long, is how we in service and now sales are the trusted advisor. And this is how we have been winning, and this is what will carry us over into winning in 2026. So remembering really, I'm going to talk about three things: relationships, your expertise. David was just talking about that. But we still have to make sure that we confidently close. All right, and how do we do that? Well, customers, they have changed. Have we changed though? All right, as you know, being a customer for yourselves, right? Before you go and talk to a sales guy, before you go buy a car, before you go buy a blender, before you buy a vacuum cleaner, before you buy whatever, a tool, what have you done first? You have gone to YouTube. You have gone and compared all the brands. You have gone and talked to Facebook group, right? You have done all your research on this. This is something that we weren't able to do even just 15, 20 years ago. You talk to your neighbor. Well, you know, the world has opened up to us. So we do have higher expectations. Customers have higher expectations. And because of that, they want to be guided through this. Okay, they don't want to be pushed. They don't need to be convinced. They just need to be guided. And that's where we come in as the trusted advisor, because we're going to guide them through to help them make sense, not just to throw options at them, but to make sense of the options. Does that make sense? So, talking about the history. I've had a couple of history lessons here over the year. So the history of sales. Let me think about this for a second. Now, some of us are old enough to know that, you know, where it really started over the last 50 years is you had the trusted, you know, the insurance guy or the doctor that made the home visits. It was all about relationships at that point, right? Okay, I'm not that old, so I don't really remember the doctor coming to the home, but that's all about building relationships. Then it swung the whole completely different way, but you guys all do know this and remember this, of the hard closer era, right? Where we have the ABCs, always be closing, there's scripts, there's, you know, the movies that are made, Glengarry, Glenn Ross, if you know anything about sales, that's a staple. So it's just sales at all cost. And that's what it's about. And then now it has swung back the other direction, but with a twist. There's a twist now. And that is, as of today, it's all about the three things: the relationships that we build with customers, you being a trusted advisor, meaning you have expertise, and then we confidently close, because they do want your confidence. If they sense that you don't know or you're not confident in what you're doing, they're moving on, they're delaying their decision. So research supports this. It's just not my opinion. I did go do a little research to throw this slide up for you, and some of the data that I found, well, actually supports what I've been saying all year about being the trusted advisor. 80% of buyers want reps that act like a trusted advisor, not somebody who's just going to order take. And I pause there because that's what we like to take advantage of, our already abacus customer. They already know that we're different, they already trust us, and then you go in as an order taker. And then you wonder why you didn't gain their business, because you didn't guide them, right? 84% want sellers who understand their needs. That means going in and understanding who they are, recognizing their needs before you offer solutions. And then the number one reason buyers walk away is because they feel pressure. Fun, you can think about this internally. Think about how you interact with salespeople. So relationship plus discovery plus guidance, that's what closes. That's how we've won in 2025, and that's how we'll grow into 2026. So what does this mean for you guys? As a trusted HVAC pro advisors that you are, remember that when, we're not in a store. Customers aren't coming to us. You're going into their homes. You're going into their trusted spaces. You're around their kids. You're around, in their domain, if you will. So you have to remember that. So when we are in their domain, we want to make sure that we are really listening to their concerns. So when they are considering all the options that we throw out, whether it's, multi-$1,000s or duct cleaning or insulation or just a blower wheel cleaning, they're considering it based on how you present to them. So we want to make sure that we are clear. So when you talk to customers, you want to make sure that you present with clarity and with your expertise. You are the ones that give them the information. This is where we talk about, judging. And what I mean by that is what David was making the decision on, or making an example of this, is that we tend to sometimes not give all the information that we need to our customers because we think, we know what's best for them. That's not for us to judge. We just need to give them all the information. Let them be their own best judge of what we can help them out with. Let them figure it out, though. You are just the person to educate them. We said that word a billion times over this last year. Just be there to educate them and give them the information. If they don't trust us, they delay the decision. So if you walk out and didn't get what you thought you would, well, it's because they didn't quite trust you. But if they do trust us, guess what? They do make the right buying decision. They'll make the right one, not the cheapest one. So, 3 habits we're going to focus on right here. 3 habits I want you guys to focus on. You guys have heard this. You fix the beginning, you fix the end. We're really going to focus on the first 10, 15 minutes with the customer. Then, number 2, we're going to ask smart questions and listen. And then number 3, we're going to close confidently. So this, I cannot implore with you guys. We're going to be doing additional trainings on how to actually accomplish this right here. But the first 10 to 15 minutes, this is where trust is built. This is where it starts right here. If you don't win here, you don't win in the close. So, if you guys, names are on the lights, the name and lights up here at the beginning because of your sales, it's because you're doing something right in the beginning. You're gaining their trust. And you do that by, slowing down. Smile with the customer. Don't go just straight to the problem, because now you are just like every other repair guy. Going straight up, just show me where the problem is, or just show me where your system is so I can maintenance. You're just like every other repair guy when you do that. However, if you slow down, you smile, you address the customer, you actually look around for things that are genuine about their home, like their holiday decor, their Christmas decor, the flowers that still may be blooming, the sports that they may have displayed. Guys, make comments about that. Be human with the customer. Slow down and make sure you do that. Build comfort. This helps reduce their defenses with you. So you have no relationship with the customer, you have no close at the end. So number 2, we talk about ask, and keep asking. I've said that over and over, right? We need to make sure that we ask questions to customers. And then we need to make sure that we listen when we do ask the questions, right? So a couple questions I threw up there for you, just to kind of get your juices flowing here this morning. Walk me through the comfort issues that you're having in the home. Just ask the question and then be quiet. What matters more? Comfort, air quality, lower bills? And just see what they have to say. How long do you plan to stay in the home? See what their investment is. Most people are saying, yeah, I'm going to be here for a while. That's why we bought a home. That's why we're not renting. We're going to be here for a while. Then reflect it back. So the customer needs to know that you heard them. So what I'm hearing is is that you do feel uncomfortable in your master bedroom because it's too hot in there. Or what I'm hearing is that the allergies do bother you this time of year. Make sure that you reflect back. Remember that phrase today. What I'm hearing is. What I'm hearing is. Remember what we talked about on Monday's call? The little phrase that we're supposed to say when we observe? What I noticed is that you're wearing a camouflage shirt. Do you like to go hunting? That gets them in the present moment of you rather than whatever else they were thinking about before you showed up. So what I noticed and then what I'm hearing. You guys, everyone can relate in here. You know, if you're the salespeople that don't do the selling text and the service text, we tend to talk too much. Okay, even me included. We talk too much, and that's when we lose the deal. That's when we don't gain their trust. It's the technicians that do a great job of giving the information, then stop and listening. Those are the ones that win. Those are the ones that have the highest close rates. I'm telling you right there. Customers want to know. They want to have clarity. They want to have your information and information, but you need to stop and make sure that you're getting the information back. And then habit number 3. Remember, I'm using this as words as habits because these are habits that we want to make sure that we do. Consistency wins. And that's what a habit is. It's something you do over and over and over again. So confidently close. We can't be just the nice guy and give information and education. You have to actually come in and close the deal. So you still have to do it with confidence. Relationship doesn't just replace the close, guys. It earns you the right to close. So think about that as a statement. The solution that we do, we talk about, because that you are learning more about the customer, you get to use their words back into your close. You get to use their phrases, their pains, the situations they're going through, back to them. Like I explained, if they have hot and cold spots, in the home, then we're going to bring that information. Hey, I hear your master bedroom. What I hear is your master bedroom is an issue. We want to take care of that hot or cold spot for you. So then make the ask when we're closing. And I put that in blue just as again, another way to confidently ask for their business. Most customers, choose card or low, easy monthly payments. Which would be better for you? Easy monthly payments. And then be quiet. Relationship, that's what builds the trust. If they don't trust you, they don't like you, they're definitely not going to go with your solutions. Then your expertise, that's what you guys all do. Is really that's the information, that's the education that you're pushing. And then, you got to make sure that you close. You got to ask for the business, guys. You can't just be the nice guy. So this is the model that has been working for 2025. This is the model of today, is the trusted advisor. That's what I want you guys to see yourselves as. Trusted advisor is the best of both worlds. You get to be the hard closer, you get to be the nice guy, and deliver products and services to customers that they wouldn't otherwise even know about if you don't bring it to them. So just make sure that you are clear and confident and ask for the business. So today's challenge for you is I want you to walk into every home thinking just a few things. First one is, am I here to sell it to them? Or am I here to solve it for them? I've had a couple conversations with a couple of you guys recently. Then some of you have said, I think I'm just in it for myself and I need to stop getting out of my head. I need to get in there and really just focus on the customer. If you focus on the customer genuinely, not just because it sounds good to say, but if you really are looking for solutions for customers, then you feel more genuinely about educating them and throwing those options down or those solutions down. That's what we hit the 6 solutions for. Let them be the best judge of which one they want to go with. But at least you've given them options. And what you should hear, or what the customer is thinking when you do that for them, is like, wow, nobody's ever really talked to me this way. Nobody's ever given me this much information before. That's when you know you've done your job. Because you were the trusted advisor. Start with the relationship. relationship, you shared your expertise, and then you confidently close. So customers don't buy from pressure, they buy from clarity and your confidence. So, our final message, be the person that they trust. It's not just about being liked, it's also about being trusted. Be the expert that they need. You got a lot of information up here, and if you don't know it all, that's okay. You've got lots of partners. Look left, look right. You're not alone. Bring the expertise to the customer. And then be the closer that they remember. Remember, you represent you. You represent Abacus, your company. You know, you represent the craft that we are in. So, let's go out there. Let's go win today. That's all I've got for you.